Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon. Good afternoon, good afternoon. It's Thursday, it's the Gospel Magazine right here. I am Pastor Greg Isaacs, and with me in a little while, he's experiencing some technical challenges with Scotty Gordon from Tobago. So in the meantime, I will just give you some key information what we are going to be doing this afternoon. Now, remember, I have been dealing with talking with all of the zonal superintendents, but this is the time, the turn for our Tobago zone, and Reverend Gordon, who is the zonal superintendent for Tobago, he will join us as soon as he has overcome some of the challenges. You know, not all of us young people are as good as you young people, you know. So he has a bit of a challenge, and I'll get up over with him in a little bit. But in the meantime, let me say good afternoon to our DS Reverend Ryan Williams and some of the contingent from Trinidad who has gone over, I think, to Panama for a huge conference. I pray God's blessing as they travel, and I pray good success for that particular conference. Good afternoon to our East Zone, our North Zone, and the South Zone zonals. All our friends and members, I do wish you a blessed and a happy Thursday evening. We have been experiencing some challenging weather, but you know, it is not as bad as it could have been. So we do thank God for sparing us the worst of the worst. All right. So we looking forward to a pretty good night tonight and a reasonably good day tomorrow. Although they did say that the weather. Yes, our brother is in the house. So Reverend Cutty, I was just sharing with our team here that we getting over some weather conditions that pretty rough. I don't know how the weather is in Tobago. I didn't see any pictures. How has the weather been in Tobago, Reverend?
Well, of course, similar to Trinidad, you have some of the same kind of conditions, and you have some of the similar effects in terms of there was a house, especially yesterday, due to landslide.
Wow.
Of course, the people has to move, and then there are some roads
Yes.
that dangerous too. You got to be very careful because you have land slippage and
Travel on. Yeah.
and then some of the road very slippery, and there are some places where you also have where you have situations where, like I said, residents of Wim Avenue, Plymouth Road, Tobago are living in fear. Landslip caused a part of the hill to collapse, and the residents say the road is next useless. The THA,
impossible.
Yes. And the THA need to act as soon as possible. That is some of the things that is coming out here. You know, I'm on a chat, so I get in some of the
info, I can imagine. You know? I got a whole bunch of that yesterday too. But you know, for me, after 3-4 minutes, I had to switch off those chats because the news is so depressing, you know.
Yeah.
So I just turned off and I said, Lord, let's cover these people and keep them safe because you know, that's the best we could do. You know, it's really sad.
On the Canaan side, where we are, you just have normal places where, because I think poor drainage is part of the problem too.
Yeah.
So where you have places flooding because the the drain sometimes they may have it wide at a one point and then the bottleneck at the next
Narrows.
point. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that causing
Management of drains is a daily business. You know, you
yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah.
You know, that's something else. That's something else.
But
You know, so
Mhm.
Tobago
But
has been in the news for a lot of not so savory and not so pleasant stuff in the last weeks. In the weeks
yeah.
gone by, you know, how is that affecting the church? You know?
Well, I think the church really goes on. I don't think I don't think it's affecting the church any,
Okay.
because the church in the THA you have a lot of people of different faiths. You
Yes.
have you have, as is well known, Terry, the chief sec himself is supposed to be of the Adventist persuasion. It has,
Yes, I think so, yes. His
yeah.
his his aunt goes to Nazarene Worship Center actually.
Okay, good. And you have even my assemblyman for the enough, Keenan and what the next place again?
Bonaccord?
No, not well, Keenan Bonaccord, yes, Keenan Bonaccord,
Okay.
and the next one, oh gosh, there's a place where they have the goat race down there.
Oh, yeah, I know it. The name I come to mind, but I know it is. I know it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have
I,
strong memory. I have very fond
yeah,
memories of Tobago. You know, so
yeah,
when things happen in Tobago, you know, I feel it. You know. My father took me to Tobago several times when he was working across there. So
yes.
I spent
So
many a school holiday across there.
yeah, so a song was composed, I guess, on the discussion, with people that make a hit by Reverend Baines.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I
Pastor
sure.
Baines will do that. I haven't heard it yet, but I am not
Okay.
surprised. I am not surprised.
It's you take one of those that calypso, I feeling it,
Yeah. So he just changed the lyrics.
So he changed the lyrics and it has some other songs in between and say we're feeling it. But I guess what happened, some people criticize him and the song, but it is not he didn't call anybody name, he didn't nothing.
Yeah, I think you'll observe some criticism in that manner.
Nothing to cast any aspersion on anybody. It's just a song in support
Yeah.
of the present secretary, and they are behind him because country before party is the mantra.
What I am hearing you there, and I am hearing also all of these comments with regards to the budget that was laid a couple of weeks ago, and so much has been said. And for me, the saddest part is that I think the lack of maturity among so much of our population. That to me, I mean, I am not taking sides. What saddens me is the lack of maturity in some of the things people will get on the social media and public platforms and say. It really, to me, it doesn't represent Trinbagonians well. When people say things that are not appropriate, are not accurate, not even true, that kind of thing, that for me is sad. And I think the other thing for me is that an appreciation for present reality. I'm not sure if the church members are part of it or what, but the thing is, Rev, when you look, or when I look at how the budget is spread, there are so many things that goes towards the general population, education, social services, and all those things that benefit the population. And that has a cost. So this hullabaloo about the gas and the subsidy, the truth of the matter is, and I'm not saying this this for everybody. The truth of the matter is we have been spoiled by subsidies for too long. Well about 30 or 40 years of subsidies, we have been, spoiled that's the only word they could use, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we, as a nation, we need to grow up, we need to mature, and the church must play a part in helping our people reach that level of maturity and understanding and participate in nation building. If our churches, I believe, if our churches have to succeed, we have to build a culture of appreciation for truth and supporting truth, whether
Mm-hmm.
what side of the table it is. Let's support truth. Let's be honest with what is presented. And if there's reason to give an honest challenge, let's do it in an amicable way, in a decent way, so that the name of Christ doesn't come into disrepute in our discourse and in our conversations. But we have a right to voice, to speak truth to the situation, and at least let those other people hear it from us. But
Yeah.
enough of that. I want you to tell me, Rev, um, you are now the elected zonal superintendent for Tobago for the Church of
Mm-hmm.
Nazareth, and
Yes.
there's um, changes. I understand. How is the Tobago zone going? How is
Well,
that going? The number of the 5 or 6 churches across there.
yeah, well, the Tobago zone, in terms of the number of churches, we really have, it stands at 3. Of course, you have Skeelan, you have Bethany, and you have Lowlands.
Yeah,
Now, I know you probably were thinking about we were,
the Sam,
one was started at Scarborough.
Scarborough. Yeah,
Yeah, but that has
it closed.
closed, I think, since prior to COVID. I think there were some challenges there.
Okay,
So
okay,
so that has closed, and the minister is the youth pastor, Reverend Boyce at
okay,
Lowlands.
okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so I think that is his portfolio there.
okay, okay, okay.
So that is in terms of the churches. Of course, the I will say the zone is facing some challenges
I would expect as much. Yeah.
as a zone. Although some of the individual churches are doing okay
Okay.
in spite of the impact of COVID. Especially in terms of finances, in terms of the membership, the attendance, so to speak,
Mm-hmm,
that has
mm-hmm.
been affected too. But so you have some challenge in there. I think Bethany probably might be facing more challenges. But I think
Okay.
between Canaan and Lowlands, I think we must give high praise to the membership, because they have really, even though we were out of church, and even when church started, they continued with their faithful giving.
Okay.
You have, and so we were never in a place where we needed assistance from anybody else. The
Okay.
church was
Okay. Okay.
able really to withstand whatever pressures, I must say. And I think God has blessed some of the younger people with some good jobs. But of
But that
course,
is that is good news at least.
yeah,
That is good news.
yeah. So you have to, but of course, you always and the tithing, of course, that's why we think you have to encourage people to
Yeah. Yeah.
continue to do. So a lot of these services, I think, what contributed that to remember, you move from no service at all, which where you will find visitors attending to, and people will make their contribution.
Yeah.
And then you had, when you go back out to church. Now we in Canaan, we only do one service in church, and that is the Sunday morning. We
Okay.
continue to do the Bible study, the prayer meeting
Online.
online, but the intercessors meet on the Saturday, they went back to church.
They go back and okay.
Yeah. So you'll find, last time sometimes you pick up, a little offering in terms of finances.
Yeah, but in terms of
That
the participation, you say that the Wednesday Bible study is done online. How is the attendance online at least for
I
the
think,
Bible study?
yeah, the Bible study, it's, I would say it's all right, because in church you may not, sometimes in church you may have less people coming out during church service, but on during the
Online.
online you have, more than you, in fact you expect more,
Yes, true.
but it's still not in the place where you like it to be, but it's a little more than what you
Okay,
said.
but what have you all done? The thing with COVID, while COVID has done its damage in terms of the health of people, you have a significant mortality numbers coming down. But the social life and the way we do what we do, the way we do business, the way we exchange communication, that has changed significantly. What have you all how did you all compensate, or what adjustments did you all make, recognizing this new dynamic, to capture a wider audience via the online facility, because that is the way we have to go now. I think that we have to look at a hybrid of online plus in-house, but it will mean rethinking the approaches. It means retooling. It means new ideas to work this hybrid model.
Yeah, definitely. I think what is happening is that, some people are using more platforms, and I think you have the Zoom platform that
Yeah.
you have the Facebook, and they're using the YouTube. Some people have gone, they're using, they're stretching to a lot of platforms. I don't know if we in Tobago, I know we use the Zoom, we use the Facebook. We haven't gone on to the YouTube platform. But I think the more you spread yourself, is the more people will, you will be able to attract people outside of just this church, and
True,
so,
true.
yeah,
That's true. That's correct.
so I think the more platform you use, and some churches are using all the platforms.
Yeah, yes, because
yeah,
the thing is, depending on where you are or what device you have,
right, correct.
that's what happens.
So true.
It's easier to get YouTube depending on what device you have or where you are.
Right,
It's easier to get Facebook and that kind of thing. So you use those two major ones, and whatever else is available. Because at the end of the day, you want to bring people on your online platform and connect with them, and see how that goes. But even so, Rev, when you do connect with them, what's next? That's important. You have to have a plan for these online audiences.
Yeah, well, definitely, and I think, that's one of the areas I think we have to work with. I think maybe all the churches on its own need to work with, because I guess we just probably just settle for the fact that, okay, we have the Zoom, we have this, and it's like you throw your seeds out there, and of course, one of the things that is helpful, and I remember seeing a guy on, a friend of mine right in Tobago here, when he went on his Zoom platform, he used to say share. I think the more of our people who shares.
Share their lives, share their lives.
That's it. Keep on
That's
sharing.
important.
Yeah,
That's important.
and if you begin to share, you will widen the audience.
But then again, I think what we must appreciate, we have to do two things. I am suggesting. Look at mainstream business how they market their products,
Correct.
whether it's garments or food, beverages, or events, whatever. Look at what they do and try to take some kind of a tip from it, because these people have been online long before. They didn't wait for COVID to go online. They were online long before. So what is company X doing when they're marketing their product? What is company Y doing when they're marketing their product? You know what I mean?
You're right.
Right
You're
now,
right. Yeah.
in Tobago, for instance, it have Carnival in Tobago coming up right now. I mean, and they are flooding the airwaves with all of the events and la 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 la. So I think what needs to happen, we need to take a page out of these people because they have a significant level of expertise. That we don't have now. So let's look at them and see what is happening. What are they doing that we can copy, and bring our gospel message, And in addition to the gospel message, what can the church do to speak to the social situations, like we talked about just now, the people who suffer loss and damage roads and that kind of stuff, the people who the house that fell down, when people see the church in action, okay, this person, their house fell and thing. Maybe somebody could reach out,
Right.
You need to reach out and show your face, offer some assistance, however big, however small, and let people see, So immediately, and the thing is, you have to be walking around, taking your videos and shooting the church in action. That might be one thing to do. But then again, you have to package I think you have to package your Bible study to keep your new audiences, your new people.
I think that's the thing, as you talk about the marketing and the packaging, because I think we will have to get some people, because some of the churches, maybe have to pay for that, to get people who will be able to come and the optics, the sensationalism. Sometimes you see these guys doing a promo or intro, and you're seeing quick snippets here, bam, 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 bam.
That's correct.
And so therefore people okay.
What you're saying,
get your attention.
And what you're saying, there really is a science. These people, while the church or many of the churches hesitated to go online, what these people were doing long before, they made a science of television and broadcasting and online presence, so that these people could come and tell, listen, if you do not do this within the first 3 seconds, you lose. And if you know what I mean? Because even with this gospel magazine broadcast we have been doing online since July last year, I have sought help from a lot of different people. I mean, I haven't gotten from everybody, but I have got help from some. My own children have helped me. Members of the church I go to in Old Road, couple of those guys already know this stuff, and they help me. When I go to church, I discuss it, because these young people have a lot of skills. In addition to that, I Google online and I go online, and there's a lot of free courses and free tips you could look at. And the bottom line is, you as pastor, myself as pastor, we have to retool ourselves, Rev. We have to become very accurate with the systems, and take. I am at the point now. I met someone last month. No, month before. We in October. No, month before. I met someone, and I am set up an appointment to meet with her. I have to pay a small fee, of course. And she will bring her expertise. So we are gonna have a conversation. And for that conversation, it will cost me $100. Okay, for half hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's a small investment,
Yeah, yeah, of
But
course.
what she is bringing to me, I can use that and improve what I do right here on Gospel Magazine. And I also started my own broadcast talking
Yeah.
about, if you remember, this month of October is mental health.
Right,
So I'm
yeah, yes,
talking,
that's right.
yeah, so I'm talking to mental health education there. So
Right.
you do these things to capture and to build your following, to build your audiences, and that kind of thing. So I think what I'm hearing from you is tapping into expertise where we can, what we can get free from our people, fine. If we are to make some small investments, I think that may be the road to go,
Yeah.
because you do when you look at some of the bigger churches in the states and further afield, they were online long time before COVID.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
They were,
COVID didn't break them per se, as we felt, the kind of disconnect that we suffered. They did not. So again, sometimes it might just mean, hey, let me sit down and watch um, this church and what they're doing, and that church and what they're doing, and listen and learn, and we
yeah,
can really, really inform ourselves and
yeah.
do church better.
Yeah, true,
Understanding
true,
the
true.
demographics. You have an older population who not so accurate with the technology. You have to
Right.
tailor to them. And then you
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
younger and a much younger. How are you going to meet all these different age groups? You know,
Yeah, well,
you, you
definitely. I mean, that's that you talk about that. So you have to target. But of course, you know who you're targeting. So I think
yeah,
the content level, because most of the time, I mean, what we do is we preach, we teach. The thing is that the on online, um, you have what I call I pick up this word from Wion, when the Queen died, and she almost every media house had things about the Queen, and
yes,
they call it information obesity, and
yes.
so I think
Hmm?
because you have I mean, you have a lot of Christian programs, a lot of, I mean, some might say to people, it's endless saturation.
That's correct.
So,
That's
so,
correct.
so, so, so now your content, I think you were mentioning something as you talk about mental health, you were this month. I think we have to look at our content,
That's correct.
because this guy, I mean, he's on radio, Morris Johnson, and when
Of
I'm
Trinidad.
yeah,
Okay.
when I'm coming from, usually when we finish job our son, I'm coming up with the radio and the people. So what he does is making relevant, um, let's with life experiences, from a biblical perspective.
True.
So as you talk about mental health, because I saw advertisement on my on the chat about mental health, and they're doing that somewhere in Tobago, and I think they have an online thing. They've earlier been inviting people to participate in the whole mental health program for young
It is.
people, senior
That's
people, right?
important. Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct.
So and they talk about it, and I was looking at it and say, but I know it coming from that social science perspective.
That's
But so,
correct.
so I said,
That's
so I said,
correct.
what is the biblical perspective? So what he does, he has a different day for different
That's correct.
issues,
That's
and
correct.
so if
And
it's
he is simply copying a model from someone else.
right, correct,
That's
correct,
what he did. That's what he
and
did. He tailored it
that
to his
yeah,
particular
yeah,
need.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you're getting word, but you also but you could connect, people could connect with that, it's
That's
life.
correct. That's correct.
It's
That's
life. So
correct.
I think
That's absolutely correct.
we have to look at our content,
Yeah.
especially if you have to really appeal to a wider audience. Not you could discuss even politics
Of course.
from that perspective.
Of course. Of course.
From
Of
that
course. And
perspective.
education too.
Education, yeah, yeah,
Education. Our people need to be educated. they are in the public schools. You
Right.
had a host of violence at one point in time. What are we doing? And the church, these are the spaces the church must put their voice.
Yeah, Gregory,
know?
you're so correct, because with this charter, I mean, so we have a group they call, because of course they say the pastor must be get involved in the community, and so it was a good opening for me to be part of that whole.
That's excellent, man.
And we become an NGO. So we still in the process of fulfilling all the requirements for registration.
Yes, yeah.
But so we decided to focus on the primary school in Canaan Bonaccord, which has a lot of challenges and issues. And they even they need a homework center. And these are areas that I've seen where the church.
So you partner with them, yes.
That's right, yeah.
Brilliant.
Come in, and you have the situation where the children are having issues. So I was told the principal, and she said, yes, we will welcome somebody to come and do. All right. So these are things that the church could really get into, and really, as you were saying, do something. Do something so that visually people will see that the church is really relevant. You have to be relevant.
Yes. And what's the population of that school, Rev?
The school population.
400?
Yeah, could be under that. I stand
between
corrected.
3 and 4. Okay,
Yeah,
but even if it's a minimum of 300, do the math. You have 300 parents, 300 children. That is 600 parents. Even if only half of them, in the mix.
True.
So true. You have 300 possible adults.
Correct.
As your target audience.
The target,
so
definitely.
You plan something significant, and the thing is, the time short. You plan something and you deliver it nicely, attractively, solid biblical content, and they want to hear more, and you take names and you start to speak to the parents.
Definitely.
The parents might have specific needs. Some of them whatever, and you listen, and that's the thing is, you have to be listening and hearing their pain, hearing their situation, hearing their cry. What are their needs, and how can the church assist? Because
that's correct.
You might need to have a relationship with somebody same, like you say, a member who is part of the assembly. Have that conversation, and you make that. So even if you didn't bring $1 million worth of help,
right?
At least you bring $100.
You bring something.
You bring something.
You
start there. And more. So the church, what I'm seeing here, COVID-19 is now positioning the church to become more integrated in these specific areas.
Which is true.
Heavily people populated.
Schools,
for instance, and their crises.
Yeah.
Maybe sports and all of those other areas.
So true.
You have a strong aging population in Tobago.
Yes.
What are we doing in Tobago with that aging population?
Because from our church now, Brother Cowie, he started an initiative to the young fellas from 7 to 17 or 7 to 16. So he has a holistic approach to their development. So, and of course, trying to attract not only church children, but he has, as you talk about sports, football, he has some scouting kind of background, bring them there, and let them, expose them to, talk, conversation.
Yes,
so all of that is
those are important conversations. That's correct.
And you said something there, and I think the church, we haven't really. And I was talking to a friend of mine, a brother. I said, "Boy, you're needed, because one of the things that we haven't done is through sports." And you wish the sportsmen in the church, if we had sportsmen in the church, they will take up that as a ministry, so that you have, even in Canaan here, you have guys who just form a sports club. Look, I have a friend of mine. He recently started a bike club, and it was the young fellas there.
Riding up and down.
Yes,
I'm sure it's not no $1 million bike.
no,
ordinary bicycle.
Ordinary bike, and because he's a joint, because he's he just do body work. He has them now. They come them teaching them how to spin their bike, how to improvise and do all kind of stuff on their bike.
Giving them a skill.
Definitely.
He's giving them a skill. He's keeping them socially engaged. You know, and in all of these social interactions, he has the opportunity now to minister the gospel.
Definitely.
And that's fantastic. So you see, what we are just identifying is that the creativity.
That's right.
In the approaches, we no longer could stick to bring them in church, preach the gospel, have an offering, sing two songs.
That's right.
We have to change up things significantly now.
That's right.
Because their social lives has been turned upside down.
Yeah, and whether we like it or not, I mean, and many of the guys are saying, and I think I saw a guy from Trinidad, they were talking to children. I think I did a program even with the tablet and because you see children living on that, whether we like it or not, that's what they're on. So he's starting something, to teach them how to. Even when the guy, he said he was going to teach them how to make their own drone. So he's going to bring in people to do that. So
fantastic.
Because that's what they're into.
That's what they're into.
What the guy thought about, children are going to not play anymore. They're going to,
No.
They're right in here. They're playing the
games.
Of
pitching marble. And
yeah.
No.
What is that?
High tech. Yeah.
So we have to meet them there.
That's correct.
And even in the teaching of Bible class, it was sort of school bringing the video aspect and it, bringing that, because my wife teaches online, and what she does, she has a side that she goes to with deal with stories, say moral stories, so the children are attracted to that. And then you're using the biblical, word, to teach the truth, because they are teaching the truth. They are teaching the truth.
So you're using high impact video quality presentations to deliver the message of the Jesus.
Deliver the message, definitely.
And that's what we have to do, Rev.
We have to do that.
We sometimes, I shared with our brother this morning. I was so happy for something he had shared last night.
Yeah.
Sometimes we see the Bible as a book, but it is not a book. It's like a life document that started thousands and thousands of years ago. And it went through so many evolutions, so many cultural changes and social changes and economic changes.
Right.
But it is still relevant. So the heart of God and the mind of God, we have to tap into that other than just the spoken word.
Yeah. I mean, it has different ways to bring the message. I think, as you rightly said, I mean, the Bible and the Bible says about historically, they were real people, real challenges, real problems.
Family crises.
Definitely.
Children crises.
Yes.
All that kind of
everything.
It's there.
It's there. So we long as we could, there's a song that we sing. I guess people hardly sing these days. I think Charles Wesley wrote it. A charge to keep I have, a God to glorify. And then there's a line, to serve the present age, my calling to fulfill. So
that's correct.
Age, to serve this present age, it needs all the things that you mentioned.
That's correct.
Because this present age is not the age of the 60s.
And the 50s.
No.
They have changed. And the thing is, the pace of change is even more rapid than 100 years ago.
It's so true.
So even as we speak,
Yes,
Next
sir.
5 years, what we're talking about might
Yes.
be obsolete.
Obsolete. Correct.
It's really, really significant. It's really,
Yes.
really significant.
Yeah. We have
But
to be self.
what also is necessary from what I'm hearing, there needs to be significant collaboration, drawing from resources from the three churches. Where do you have significant expertise in audiovisual presentation?
Right.
Where do we have significant expertise in mental health education and in whatever, and maybe
Yeah.
even tap into resources over here in Trinidad that you can bring over once a month, whatever, to make your online presence stronger and more powerful. That is what you have to do. So
Correct.
because if your presence is strong, people will tune into you. Because
Yeah.
at the end of every gospel magazine presentation, I within a half hour, I go to the analytical report that Facebook gives me,
Right.
and it tells me how many 3-second views, how many 6-second views, how many people watch so far,
Right.
and so I know, depending on what I do, I have a high presence in terms of number of viewers. And when I do other things, I don't, so I
Yeah.
watch these. So it's a science. So I'm watching the responses, watching the analytics that Facebook
Right.
gives me. And
Right.
I use that is strong data
Yeah.
to help me plan going forward.
That's true.
Last 2 weeks ago, I had Reverend Ramey. 3 weeks ago, I had Reverend Ramey showing, and then last week I had Oliver Phillip, and it was
Right.
fantastic.
Yes.
Now, when and then um, we spoke about his new book on cultural intelligence. Very
Yeah.
instructive, you know. So what I need to do now, when I look at the numbers, it tells me that there was a high interest level in
Just
this
right.
particular thing. So people are interested in finding out, how do I improve me? How do I improve my communications? How do I make myself more relevant?
Yeah.
So even as a youth minister, as a Sunday school teacher, whatever, going online and trying to capture audiences, I have to understand what's
Yeah.
the whole dynamics.
Definitely. Because
It's important.
even as you mentioned early about the whole politics and I mean the budget and so on, and I listen to people and I share a similar view to you. I said you have to look at so many factors that
Mhm.
impacts and it's impacting upon us. I mean globally. All the countries in the world are affected, one way or the other.
True.
And I say, listen, it's a very simple thing. Use the model of a parent. If you, as a father, the breadwinner, you let's assume you let's say both of you, your parents were working, mother and father were working.
Mhm.
Somebody lose their job, it definitely calls for a cutback adjustment in the house.
True.
So if you say three bread, we might have to take about two.
True.
So some of the things that I cut back on, and I said as you was saying something there, in terms of what my relevant. I was saying probably what we need to do in view of the budget. I haven't heard anybody focus on letting people know how to adjust and survive
Yes,
in
yes,
this
yes.
climate. I say because you could talk from now until you could
The
eat
cows
it,
come in. Yeah.
but you have to find a way how to survive. I said,
Yes.
listen, so you have to learn now how to really shop instead of buying. My
Yes.
my mother told me, we people we don't shop, we buy.
Impulse
Why?
buying.
Right? Why? No. Well, not even that. When you go inside in the market, why a man who is selling limes, he didn't put no fertilizer. He didn't. All he had to do was to go and pick the lime from the tree. It didn't cost him anything in terms of
Mhm.
that lime tree. Why you want to sell it so expensive? Why a Julie mango that you picking from the tree? You didn't have to put any fertilizer. It didn't cost you anything. Why you say, so when we go, we have to bargain, to buy these things. I know just say you're buying it, they could drop their price. My
True.
wife,
Negotiate. Yes.
when she used to work in a certain place, when these people go out to buy, even these business people, they're just buying. So the manufacturer, they are bargaining with them. Listen, drop material, I go pay 10%, I go pay X, I go. But we buying it, so we have to learn, and we have to learn to cut. The old people just say, cut and contrive.
Yes.
And so it's how to survive. People talking about carpooling. That's the thing I've been long time. How to get, why you have to pay a particular bill. I don't want to call anybody name, but why you have to pay a service provider bill, let's say you're paying $500, you don't even watch half of the program. Why don't you cut it down? So we have to find a way to live, and people should be focusing on the science of living.
True. And that is significant, because that speaks to something in mental health. We have an adjustment disorder.
Okay.
Since COVID-19, a lot of people have not been able to successfully manage a change.
Right.
Right. I use myself for example, and I said on this program already. 2 years of lockdown is a lot of time. You were not allowed. You chose to obey the law and not go out and that kind of. So you stayed home 90% of the time. Where I live, I went somewhere 3 times in the 2 years. 3 times alone. You understand? So imagine that. Added to that, I had surgery before.
Right.
So I had these 2 major things going on at one time. When they say, okay, no more lockdown, you're free to go around with masks and that kind of thing, I didn't jump out and immediately start to go. I still operate with a mentality that I have to limit how much time I go out, and how much time I stay out. You know what I mean? I do most of my transactions from home. I work from home. So I mentally have continually making an adjustment, and so that when I want to go a particular place, rather than say go and take a taxi, you know what I will do? I will wait till one of my children come home, or go in or that same direction. I say, take me so and so as you're going, and then they can pick me up.
Right.
So I am always around people who I am comfortable and feel safe with. So people must have to take a look at the lifestyle that they have, and do the safe things. Have the conversation with people you trust. Your family at home. Have conversation and talk about what you need to be doing, what you must do, and what you're bound to do.
Definitely.
And work a plan so that your adjustment will be easier, and you can transition into what this new environment looks like post-COVID. And that is absolutely important. So Rev, we time us up. I really want to thank you, but I want you to give me closing words. Tobago today, Tobago tomorrow. What is happening with the 3 remaining churches? What is the outlook like? I mean, I am saying it now. How can I help as part of this gospel magazine? How can I help with my own profession? I don't even have to jump on a plane to come to Tobago and help. I can just plug in the computer, press 2 buttons, and I talk to you.
You're right there, man. Yeah.
Right there. So I am available. What's going on? And let's say a closing comment from you, Rev.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Well, of course, the whole NAIMA plan by the district superintendent is one of the major focus. And just talking to Reverend Forrester today, I think what we want to do, one of the things we want to do is to at least start back the city church, start back a church in Scarborough. That's one of the things we want to do, because, and of course, as much as possible, and maybe yes, you will come in at some point, to strengthen the local churches, to come closer to each other, be a little closer to each other, stay connected closer, because COVID, of course, and the fact that we were not able to gather together and on such a large scale, so that's one of the things that we want to. But the main focus really is to really advance the kingdom, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing, to really strengthen those areas that we need to be more vigilant in, and to pay more attention to, and to strengthen the relationship between the churches, and to also to assist pastors and other brothers who may have a little challenges in their own churches. And,
great.
So that's.
But any specific programs in the making between now and the end of the year, because we start October.
Yeah. Well, the only
Christmas around the corner. But,
the only thing that not as a zone. The only thing as a zone, as a result of the Neymar plan, is that next month, I think it's 11th and 12th, and I think that's district-wise. We have been asked to meet, have 2 nights of coming together, for word and fellowship and praise. So that will be, I think, on the 11th and the 12th of November. That is from a zonal perspective, and then we will meet and plan, for the next. Next year really is more what we will focus on.
But this 11th and 12th, that 2 days are fair. What I can do for you, if you let somebody give me the information, right, I can probably get a nice poster made and have it on the Gospel Magazine program in the days running up, you know what I mean? So people be aware of it, and maybe even on the other platforms. So once I get it done and send it to you, it's easier to share the advertisement online on the,
right,
that kind of thing. So we could assist that. I could assist that way, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so we all in it together.
Yes,
we in it together. So let me thank you, Rev. It has been a pleasure again touching base with you, and I pray God's blessing on your work and the work in Tobago in general. I know it is a challenge, but God gives the strength as needed. Yeah. Amen. So blessings, my brother. Say hello to your wife and son to me, you, and take care, my brother.
Yes, much appreciation. Blessings to you, right back at you, man. God bless you. Live long, prosper, be in good health, and continue to bless the ministry. Bless all the other activity. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you. Amen. And God bless you, everyone. Hope you enjoy a good Thursday evening. I hope the weather is good. Thank you, Lisa, Sammy. Really appreciate your presence and your support. Big up to your whole self, my dear. Blessings to you. Lisa, blessing to you, Lisa. Appreciate your support this evening here. Lisselle, thank you again. Always present, always supporting. And my pastor here, Reverend Brother Steve Messiah, So he is saying, good word from Reverend Steve. Brother Steve here, he says, I agree that the church has got to get creative and relatable while maintaining the authenticity of the gospel. Amen, Brother Steve. Thank you for that wonderful word. And thank you for your support this afternoon. So, folks, one more time, we out of time and we out of here. Looking forward to see you next Thursday. And I have a special guest, Brother Edward, I think is his name, from the St. James Church in Nazarene. He will be coming to share a program that they have initiated that will be coming off later on in October. So be listening and stay tuned, and God bless you as you continue for the rest of this evening.